Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Manal Aish, and today we're going to be presenting on how to deal with news-induced stress. So, how to deal with news-induced stress? What we're going to cover today, what is news-induced stress and what are the symptoms, the impact it has on adults, the impact it has on children, and how to talk to your children about difficult news. Also, what are the tips to manage news intake? So, what is the news-induced stress? It is feeling anxious or sad from constantly seeing upsetting news globally and locally. It can be about disasters such as earthquakes, hurricanes, and tornadoes. Also, a lot of the news around the world has a lot of violence, such as crimes occurring in their community, locally, and worldwide. Uh, Conflicts, wars, and health pandemics. Because this can overwhelm people and affect their mood and mental health. Uh, what what are the impact? What's the impact it has on adults? There's emotional effects. There's physical symptoms. Also behavioral changes. So the emotional effects increase. It increases anxiety. Also, it increases and causes depression, fear, and trouble sleeping. Also, the physical symptoms, it can cause headaches, fatigue, and tension. Um, what it does to our behavior, so it can change our behavior. People can be avoiding the news. Um, Also, changes in social interactions and also altered work performance. So some people like they just want to stay on the news all day. They don't want to interact with other like family members or other people. They're just like constantly just watching the news. They want to see everything. What is what's changing? What's the upcoming news? What's going to happen? Um, Also, some people can be avoiding the news since it's negative. They just don't want to hear any other negative news. They just avoid it, which can also be like they're gonna miss out on necessary and important news. Uh, Let me go back. So the emotional effects, it increases anxiety. So people can be when they listen or hear all the negative news, um, they're going to be anxious most of the time. They're going to feel depressed, especially because it's negative news. Negative news make people feel depressed, make people sad. Um, they're going to be worried all the time about their families and loved ones, for example, like overseas, um, or even like here in the United States and around the world. There's a lot of this negative or these negative news. So such as we talked about the pandemic during COVID. Until now, we're always like scared and afraid that it's gonna happen again. Especially like now the season, it's the flu season. We don't want to get sick again. We don't want our family members to get sick again. If we're gonna talk about the war, it's we have a lot of family members overseas, or some of us do have a lot of family members overseas. We're always and constantly worried about them. We want to make sure that they're safe. That's why um, we're always afraid. We can be afraid. We can have trouble sleeping because we're thinking about them all the time, and this will cause headache and fatigue. The impact it has on children. So the children may not fully understand the news if how negative it is or how bad it is or how serious it is and what's happening like around the world. But they can feel with us. They can feel how stressful we are. Okay. And also, if as parents, if we sit and watch the news all the time or hear the news all the time, um, the way we're going to interact with our children. It can be, since we're listening to negative news, our reaction to other things might be negative. So we have to um, pay attention to the tips that we're going to have in the next slides on how to um, if how to deal with the news and the um, stress that's caused by the news. Signs of stress, changes in behavior. So they can see us stressed out. Um, so they will not know, as we said, that it's the news is causing stress, but they can feel it and they can become stressed out as well. So their behavior will change, such as increasing clinginess. So they will be attached to us most of the time. Um, they will also have trouble sleeping, and they will be afraid and worried all the time because our emotions will reflect on them. Okay, and the way we're gonna deal with them is based on our emotions and what we feel if we don't know how to deal with it. So tips to manage the news intake. um, the first thing we have to do is create a balanced news diet. We always say like take the good things and slow down on the news. Make sure like you limit the exposure. When you're listening to the news, don't put the news all day. I know, like we wanna watch and we wanna stay up to date with the news, but you have to limit the exposure. Okay, so set specific times for news consumption. For example, like don't listen to the negative news the first thing in the morning. Try to just avoid that. Take time for yourself as a parent. Um, take care of yourself. If you like to drink your coffee, do like some workout, and then make sure like you take care of your kids before they go to school. Prepare them for school. Prepare yourself for work, and then you can listen to the news. For example, like on your way to work, because the morning when you wake up, the first thing you do, if you do like a negative thing or a positive thing, it will affect your whole day. These like 30 minutes after you wake up or this hour after waking up can affect your whole mood for the day. So let's avoid listening to the negative news in that time or around that time. Also encourage news free zones. For example, if it's dinner time, um, it's family time. Don't listen to the news while it's family time or it's meal time. Okay, try to avoid that because there has to be time when it's news free. Like that's it. I don't want to watch Instagram. I don't want to watch the news on Instagram. I don't want to watch any um, news channel. I don't want to check the Facebook to check the news. Just create space in the home where the news is not discussed. Okay. Also, most important thing, as we said, in the morning, mealtime, and when it's bedtime. Like, don't listen to the negative news, or don't listen to the news when you're going to bed or when you're putting your kids to bed, because you have to make sure that you stay away from negative news, negative stuff, negative. Um, Also, the screen time. You have to stay away at least 2 hours before bedtime. I'm sure like some of the parents, they after like finishing work, um, finishing everything like with their kids, they just want to rest. Oh, it's me time. Like we put ourselves on to sleep, and then we start with our phones. Okay, let's see what happened today. I have these 5 minutes, and then it will take you. You will see one news after another, and it's most of it is negative news. You don't want that. You don't want that. Make sure you clear your mind before going to sleep. So next morning, you start fresh and positive again. Schedule a worry time. This is a good idea. So it can be an hour that you watch whatever news You can scroll on the phone. You can listen to the news on the radio, scroll on social media, read a newspaper, um, before way ahead, way before bedtime. That's very important. And also, not in the morning, as we said. Why, as we said, why does it have to happen like way before bedtime, like at least 2 hours before bedtime? Because you need to um, make sure that you rest your brain from stressors. You don't want to stress out your brain. You don't want to stress out your body. Also, reliable sources. Make sure you choose the reliable or a reliable source, okay? A trustworthy source, not a channel that just like put negative um, news or lies, or they just want to like take be the first one to um, spread the news, so they put anything. Just make sure you choose the right source. And of course, if it's in front of your kids and children, make sure it's appropriate news source for like if the kid's gonna watch with you. Do something healthy after you watch the news. So, for example, uh, after lunch, um, you listen to the news, or before lunch you listen to the news. You can go walk after that or do something that you like. You can watch a movie, or you can, as we said, like go for a walk, go for a run, talk to a friend or a family member or to a loved one. Practicing self-care is also very important when we are dealing with the news. So because it helps parents manage stress. It will prevent them from burnouts and model healthy behaviors for their children. So if you listen to the news and you're also practicing self-care, excuse me, um, your mood will be, um, you will become happier. Okay, you will remove all the stress from your um all the stressful thoughts from your head, okay? And that's going to help us um deal with our kids better and communicate with them better and in a more positive way. So how can you practice self-care? You can incorporate mindfulness, regular exercises, and of course engage in hobbies to maintain mental and physical well-being. So here, how to talk to children about difficult news. This is very important. For example, if our kids they hear um, a negative news at school, or if they're going home from school, they heard something on the bus, or like a friend told them something, um, like they watched something on social media. Okay, um, they will come to you and tell you. The first thing they will express it is in a negative way, that they're scared or shocked that they heard this news. How to deal with it and how to talk to them about it. Don't try not to hide the news from your child, okay? But we can find out what they know about that news. If they come to you and tell you like they heard something like a negative news about like their home country, or here, like something that they heard here in school, in locally, or even like globally. You tell them, okay, tell me what did you hear? What do you know about this? Okay, make sure they take out and talk about everything they heard and they know. Okay. Um, how to talk to them about it. Also, you need to monitor news consumption. As we said, limit the amount of news exposure for both adults and children. So if you're watching it constantly or the whole day, the kids will also watch it with you. Um, some parents, they so they're watching the news. They want their kids to watch it too, but they go in a negative way and they try to force them to watch it with them. That's not the right thing to do. Some parents think that if they put them in front of the screen to watch that news, that means, oh, they're going to feel more with their country or with their loved ones. Whatever is happening around the world doesn't mean that it has to happen. Or if like their loved ones are like, or a family member overseas is struggling. I heard it once that they think, okay, if that country is struggling, then we have to like keep watching the news and we have to feel with them. It's true, we have to feel with them, but our kids, they don't know and they can't comprehend how, like us as adults, we can cope more, deal with the news more. Not like them. They might like put everything inside of them, all those emotions, and they don't know how to deal with it. Okay, so try as much as you can to um, make them avoid, like to avoid the kids from the bad news. That's very important. Um, they don't have to listen to every single thing that you listen to or watch all the news that you watch. Okay, make sure that you filter it. Like some scenes they can't be seeing, they can't watch because it's very violent. It's very, it's too much, too bad, too hard for them to consume. Um, just make sure you limit the amount of news exposure. Okay, talk to your children about the difficult news in a calm and reassuring manner, and make sure it's appropriate for the child age. Also, tell them the truth. Don't hide the news. Okay, if they heard something, as we said, don't hide it. Tell the truth, but try to filter it to make it like appropriate for their age. Okay, they don't have, as again, they don't have to know every single thing. Okay, make sure like you put it appropriate for their age. Um, Also reassurance, so provide comfort and reassurance to elevate the children's fear. So in conclusion, you need to recognize and manage news-induced stress in yourself and your children. As we said, the our kids, um, they copy our reactions and what we do. So if you watched stressful news and you kept it in you, and then you became like angry or more stressful or anxious with dealing with others, that's how they can be dealing with others as well. So you need to manage the news stress that you in yourself and your children. Also implement strategies such as monitoring news consumption, um, by creating a balanced news diet, practicing self-care, as we said, and supporting your children. Also, if it causes like a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety in your kids, they're worried all the time, they can't sleep, um, they just can't forget that scene that they watched or that news that they heard. Um, if if it's needed and they have to seek like a professional help, there's nothing wrong with that. You can talk and speak to the counselor. You can speak with their doctors and see if they need more help to help them with their mental health. Here we have some resources. The American Psychological Association, also the National Institute of Mental Health, and Very Well Mind. Thank you and have a great weekend.
HES academies have been serving the Detroit metro area for over 23 years, promoting academic excellence, leadership, and cultural diversity, ranking as some of the top schools in the state of Michigan. Our pre-K through 12th grade students enjoy tuition-free, state-accredited education by STEM-certified and highly qualified staff with no geographical restrictions, and with advanced placement, college dual enrollment, scholarship, and Arabic language programs. Nor International Academy in Sterling Heights at niapsa.org, Star International Academy in Dearborn Heights and in Canton at starpsa.org, Universal Academy in Detroit at universalpsa.org, and Universal Learning Academy in Westland at ulapsa.org. Join HES Academies today and enjoy a free Chromebook for every enrolled student.